Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And I am trying a live stream for the first time on StreamYard, something I've seen many times. Rich Strickler does, and a lot of other people. Always enjoy watching live streams of people collaborating. And a few times I got to also be on one with Rich Strickler and a couple of guys. Anyway, so I try my hand at the live stream for the first time here. And so for subject matter, I decided I'd do my top 10 favorite American bands, subject that's been over a couple different streams that I've seen or channels that I've seen lately. I don't know if it started with, I think Rich Strickler last Friday did top 10 American bands with, I believe it's Glenn Kellaway, Randy Nelson, and Brian Macy. They did it last Friday. So, of course, I came up with my own list to go along with theirs. And so I thought it'd be a fun list maybe to go over for my first live stream. And hopefully I can figure this out and it all works out and I can do more live streams. I'd really love to do more collaborations. Adam from What the Gym and I have been talking about doing a collaboration together. I believe we've decided on the 22nd, which was a Friday, we were going to do a top 10 favorite superhero movies. I definitely want to keep promoting that and hope people will watch that when it comes around. Because I probably do as a live stream with me and Adam going through that. Hopefully, we're going to try to work that out and try to hopefully it works out on the StreamYard that I'm using, which seems to be going pretty good so far. And just say, I also want to say thank you to everybody. My channel has been growing quite a lot in the last couple of weeks. I did this new contest where I had you answer 4 questions dealing with the year you graduated from high school, because I just graduated 20 years ago. And so the questions are: what is your favorite album from the year you graduated? What's your favorite song from the year you graduated? What is the favorite movie from the year you graduated? And then what is a special memory or news event that happened? Either when you graduated or sometime in high school, it's fine. Anyway, so that's the contest entries. I've gotten, I think, 7 now entries, so I'm really excited about it and very happy. Uh, Everybody's been getting in. Huge thank you to Rich Strickler, who was first entry into it and uh, been super helpful. Always shouting out my channel. I've gotten so many people that have um, subbed to my channel lately that said I heard about you through Rich Strickler. So I mean, such a huge thanks to Rich. Glenn Calloway did entry, and he's also been huge on supporting my channel. And I've had several people say they heard about me through him, and he has such a great channel. He has like over 1,000 subscribers. So, I mean, huge help having someone with that many subscribers uh, shouting out my channel. Rachel's Ghost also huge help because she has over 1,000 subscribers. So that was a huge get, I think. Also, Robert on my turntable just did one recently, and he also someone I've been watching for a long time, and he has over 1,000, or he just got 1,000 subscribers recently, and he's a little bit over that. But Robert's so great, and I was so happy to see someone like him, watch my channel. And there's been, and I'm hoping I'm not forgetting people. George Allen's new subscriber that did one, and the Happy Hippie guy I think just did one for me. Um, I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Oh, Breyer, love Breyer, his video he did, and I really love his channel and talking to him. He's been a huge supporter, and I think he got over 100 or something like that subscribers himself recently, uh, and he does the CDs reviews and stuff and rankings. And anyway, and I loved his video talking about his high school directing a 1 act play and all the trouble he had with that. Uh, Glenn Calloway had this great story of kind of some trouble he got into in high school, so that was fun to to listen to anyway. So yeah, thank you to all those people, and of course, thank you to Adam from What the Gym. Uh, he's pretty young, so he doesn't have really a story about high school so much, and so he didn't enter the contest. But he shouted out my channel on his channel, and it's been huge also. And I recently Canadian Stud Muffin subbed to my channel, which I was pretty excited about because I know he's been in YouTube for a long time, and I've seen him a lot of channels, and he has like I think 40,000 subscribers. So that was pretty cool to see. He subbed anyways, and I'm getting a lot of people. I think I've gotten over 80 now. I was at 50 just seems like just a month or two ago. I barely got to 50, and I've been doing YouTube for a little over a year now, or a year and a half maybe, and it was stuck on 32 forever. Like I was on 32 for months and months, and so it was like kind of exciting just to get to 50 was like a kind of a milestone for me. And the last couple of weeks, I've just been getting so many subscribers thanks to all the, like I said, all the people that have been shouting my channel out. And now I'm above like 80 now, I think. I know I looked the other day and I was at 80, and I was like, wow, 80. Like I am getting close to 100. That's incredible. Looks like I have the Happy Hippie, the vinyl guy. Thank you a lot. Yeah, I really appreciate you doing a video. Happy Hippie, the vinyl guy. Great channel name. Haven't watched it yet. I'll watch that as soon as I can. But I really appreciate you. Anyway, so just update my channel, I guess, and say thank you to everybody for helping me out with that. I really appreciate it all, and feel very blessed by all of you for being so kind to me. Anyway, so yeah, so this is my first. If you're just getting on, it's my first live stream. First time trying it, seeing how it goes. Seems like it's going pretty good. I got happy hippie, the vinyl guy. I know I got in here, and I got looks like I got 2 people in here at the moment. Anyway, so feel free to comment on these. Tell me when I'm wrong and all that. Anyway, so I put up a list of 10 favorite American bands. So I'll go number 10 on my list. Be kind of a surprise. I haven't heard anybody talk about this band, and I may be the only one who's going to put them on the top 10. But I had to put Huey Lewis and the News on my top 10, and it looks like Rob Scurry Music. Hi, how's it going, Rob? Rob's great. Love his channel. Shows a lot of. He had a great wedding video that he went to. But yeah, Huey Lewis and News. I don't know if that people are just hearing that's on my list. You might think, oh, my list doesn't count anymore. I don't know. I really like him, and I wouldn't say I was like a huge fan growing up with Huey Lewis and News. My main attraction to them was Back to the Future, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time, like top 10 favorite movie. And I loved the soundtrack to that movie. And of course, Huey Lewis and the News singing Power of Love and Back in Time. Love those 2 songs. Of course, every time I hear those songs, I think of that movie, Back to the Future. But yeah, I think Huey Lewis and News have a great rock, pop rock sound, I would call it. Very catchy music. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I love a good catchy pop sound, and I think they really have that. I think Huey Lewis has a great vocals. I think I really like his overall his sound. I like the addition of the saxophone in a lot of his songs. I actually quite enjoy. I really like 2 albums I really like from him are Sports and Picture This, which both made my top 100 favorite albums list. Let's see, Rob Scurry Music. You Lose and News seemed like an unusual pick. Yeah, that's what I thought. But the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Okay, good. Sports, yeah. I really like Sports. I almost would say they're underrated in some way, but I think they were pretty huge in the 80s. I was pretty young in the 80s, so I can't say I remember except for Back to the Future, but from I know, they're a pretty huge band. And Picture This, the other album, I really quite enjoy. I love songs like Do You Believe in Love, Heart and Soul, This Is It. Some of my favorites of theirs. But But yeah, overall, just really good sound anyway. So that's number 10 for me, Huey Lewis and the News. Number 9 for me is one I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Uh, but the more I think about it, the more I really realize how much I like their music, and that is Red Hot Chili Peppers. Um, they kind of started off, I think, in the 80s and were big in the 90s when I was growing up and listened to the radio. Uh, and this wasn't a band, like I say, it wouldn't make my top 10 that long ago, but I was kind of listening to their music recently, and I really kind of really love their music. I think I love their overall musicianship is really good. Obviously, Flea is like amazing bass player, and he really love watching him play too. He's so fun, but man, he really slaps that bass. When he goes, some play the bass, he slaps the bass. I mean, I love the way he plays, moves around. Also, the guitar player I think is absolutely really good. They've had a couple different, I know, guitar players. One I think died of drug overdose early on, but I think the one that I remember the most in the '90s. Late '90s, early 2000s. Excellent guitar player, and I love a lot of their stuff. Lead singer has a very unique style to him. He sang very fast. He wasn't so much about singing big notes and stuff like that. But he had this really fast pace to him that I really kind of enjoy as a rock singer, I guess. And they had a little bit of like this funk sound to them. Very unique band, I thought. And Red Hot Chili Peppers, that's got to be like up there for one of the best um, names for a band. I just absolutely love that name, Red Hot Chili Peppers. But yeah, when I was I don't know, junior high school, the album Californication came out, and I got that on cassette tape back in the day before I started buying CDs, and I had Californication on cassette, and really enjoyed that album. Let's see, Happy the Hippie Vinyl Guy, Flea's Amazing Bass Player. Yeah, I think he's one of the top. I think out there. And he was just in Star Wars, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So he was in Back to the Future, I think 3, maybe 2. So he does some acting on the side also. But yeah, Californication I thought was an excellent album. The song Californication, maybe my favorite of the Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. Scar Tissue, love that song off that album. I think there's a song called Other Side that's pretty good. Um, Hey, Mike from Did You See That? Pretty good. How you doing? Mike's channel really good with movies, and he does the best live streams. I love his live streams. Uh, Anyways, love when he gets a guest on there and talks to them and get to participate anyway. So yeah, how are you going, Mike? Glad to see you here. Talking about 10 favorite American bands. Um, yeah. Also, recently I listened to By the Way, which was the next album, which I thought was really good. Also, Stadium Arcadium, I thought was a really good album. So I guess I'm thinking more of maybe their later work that I really enjoy. And of course, Rob's talking about some of their early stuff here. I think Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I think was one of the earlier albums that was huge. Yeah, Californication is great, and their hits album, yeah, that's all great. See, Mike, so cool being able to see you on live stream. Yeah, I'm trying it. Hopefully, I'm doing okay. Gosh, I'd love to be on a live stream with you, Mike. You do such a good job. Hawk Nelson sounds like, yeah, I remember my younger sister was into Hawk Nelson, and I don't know if I ever listened to their music, but I remember my younger sister, who's 10 years younger than me. Yeah, I used to love Hawk Nelson, um, and I listened to that, and I was thinking, was that they had some famous band members? It seems like, didn't they? Or am I thinking of somebody else that married some famous people? But maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But yeah, I do remember that name, Hawk Nelson. Interesting. You mentioned that. Rob says hit the like button. Thanks, Rob. Uh, it's kind of odd doing it by myself, doing these with a live stream. But I'm pretty much enjoying all you commenting on it and enjoying joining in on it. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think a really good rock band that I've really enjoyed more recently, I would say. Under the Bridge was a great song when I was growing up. Great guitar. Love the opening guitar part and all that. Yeah, no one knows Hawk Nelson except you. So I guess I'll have to listen to Hawk Nelson maybe. Yeah, because I just barely kind of remember there was a band called Hawk Nelson that my sister listened to. But thank you, Mike. Number 8 on my list is an old kind of another band that I haven't heard me talk about, but it's a 60s band that I really quite enjoy, and it's called The Association. Um, and they were big in the 60s era. Uh, they're a great band with great harmonies, and they had a lot of members, if I remember right. And I think they changed. Their members changed a little bit during the years. They had like 3 guys at least though that did like a lot of the writing and singing, and so they had multiple songwriters and singers and just a lot of musicians in the band, if I remember right. And so they made a really great sound. And I love harmonies. About every band I talk about how great the harmonies are. And so that's definitely one of them. I would say, man, I just feel like you're in heaven when you listen to them. Especially love "Never My Love" is one of my favorite songs of all time. Looks like I got Adam here. Hey, Adam. I know this stream just kind of, I just did it on the fly just to try out the StreamYard and see if I can do it. It looks like it's working, so that's good. And hopefully, me and Adam will do some live streams in the future. Yeah, thank you, Mike. um, yeah, and so Association, Never My Love, they have their first 2 albums, both in 1966, I think are good albums, with Renaissance and then Along Comes, where their first 2 albums both came out in 1966. And yeah, great hits, like I said, Never My Love. There's a song on there that I never heard before until like this last year called No Fair at All. And it is just a beautiful song. I mean, I want to say like I listen to it and like I almost want to fall asleep because it's just so soothing. Love that song, kind of underrated song. See, Rob says definitely remember the Association, Never My Love, Cherish, Mom Comes Mary. Yeah, I was gonna say those are some of my favorite songs that they did. I'm trying to think. Everyone Knows It's Windy, I think is the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, so Rob got that. Windy is great too. Yeah, so just kind of, I almost want to say underrated because I haven't heard anybody talk about the Association, but I absolutely love their the sound that they have in the 60s. And I'm big on the 60s music, so I love that 60s sound anyway. So yeah, number 8 for me is the Association. Um, Number 7, another oldies band, 60s oldies, is what I call Love and Spoonful, which I've heard some people mention Love and Spoonful, so I know I'm not the only one that really likes them. Uh, Another band that I feel like comes out of the kind of the folk rock music era. Same with Association. I feel like they're kind of out of that folk rock music that kind of came about in America. So I always feel like the Beatles came in, they brought in the British invasion, and all these great British bands kind of came in, and like I said, it was an invasion. It just overcome everybody, and like they were the great music of the time. Uh, and so I felt like America, to try to offset that, the British are coming in, kind of came with folk rock music, and that kind of became the big American sound, kind of based, I think, off of folk music, and then they kind of integrated rock into their folk music, and they invented. Or I'll talk more about that, I guess, with another band here. But anyway, so I feel like a lot of great music came out of this period from some of those American bands like Love and Spoonful. Let's see what I got here. Rob, I'm an old man, so I lived through these songs when they were new. I can't imagine what it was like, Rob, because I only get to listen to them on the radio. Um, but good. So Rob agrees with me. Spoonful's a top 10 group. See, Adam, you're very close to 100 subscribers. I know. I think I've heard of. Okay, so well, great band. I would definitely recommend them, Adam, to Live and Love and Spoonful, especially because I think you like that era of music, anyways. But they have such a great. I think the lead singer's name was Sebastian. I want to say he had such a great voice. I want to say easygoing, kind of a great easygoing voice, and I felt like the band was kind of an easygoing band. So fun to listen to. Definitely recommend the first two albums. Do You Believe in Magic and Daydream? I think are two really good albums that came out with. Of course, Do You Believe in Magic was like a huge hit of that. Let's see. Yeah, thank you guys. Man, you guys are so kind to me. I really appreciate you guys helping me out with my channel. And yeah, I can't believe how many subscribers I've got just in the last couple of weeks. It's been really amazing. Uh, but yeah, Do You Believe in Magic? Uh, I I remember that song because of a McDonald's commercial. Before I ever knew who the Eleven Spoonful were, when I was a kid, I had no idea what that band was or that there was a band. But there was these McDonald commercials, and Ronald McDonald would sing "Do You Believe," or they would sing "Do You Believe in Magic," and Ronald was dancing with kids. And back in the day, I don't see Ronald McDonald anymore, but back in the day, Ronald McDonald was in all the commercials, and he was always doing something. And so I remember hearing that "Do You Believe in Magic" and thought, "Wow, this is a great song that they made for this commercial for McDonald's." Like, I thought McDonald's wrote the song. I was like, "Wow, this is a great song." And then later on, I was like, "Oh, this is an actual song that was hit on the radio." And then once I found that out, I was like, "Wow, who's a Lovin' Spoonful?" Like, I love the sound. But yeah, I definitely love that song. Uh, my favorite song though is "You Didn't Have to Be So Nice." Absolutely love that song and the harmonies. Again, great harmonies, great background vocals. Love the lead singer. Let's see. Let's see what Rob says. John Sebastian, yeah, as the lead singer and songwriter. Remember shopping in the '60s and seeing Spoonful type striped shirts for sale. And of course, I bought one. That's great getting that perspective, someone that was actually there during the time. All right, Adam, also thank you, Adam. Yeah, wow. Yes, I have Facebook. Jason T. Berger is my Facebook name. Yeah, just Jason Berger, but T is my middle initial. Anyway, so if you go on Facebook and go to Jason T. Berger, that should be um, my Facebook. I know Adam's on there. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Anyway, talk to them a lot on there. So definitely can get a hold of me there is the best place. Um, but man, it would be such a dream to be on Mike's live stream because I really enjoy that. Uh, okay, thank you, Adam. Gosh, you guys are so nice. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing for me. Um, this is fun. I really love doing this. Getting to talk to you guys about some of my favorite stuff like this. Oh, looks like Mike sent me a friend request. I see you on there already. So thank you, Mike. Definitely check that out. But yeah, Lovin' Spoonful. Yeah, Daydream is a great song. That's another song that I feel like I can just fall asleep to when I it's just so soothing to me. But they also have a little bit of humor to them that I love. There's this funny song on Daydream called "Bald Headed Lena," and I recommend anybody. It's hey, bald headed Lena. Has anyone seen her? She has something like a head full of lead, and I don't know. It's such a kind of weird song, but I really kind of enjoy it. Um, and they had a song. Um, Adam still helped me out here. Thank you, Adam. So great of you. Um, did you ever have to change your mind? I think it's called, and it's a funny song too. I really enjoy. So yeah, definitely check out the Lovin' Spoonful. I think a great American band. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm keep pausing because people talking here. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I saw that you guys are doing a live stream, and I love Elliot. I really kind of become friends with Elliot now on IMO Review. So really love to. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to see that live stream with you guys. And I know Adam's going to do the live stream too. So also one of my, I would say, best friends on on the YouTube. Adam is so free tomorrow at 9 p.m. So that would be 2 p.m. for me. So yeah, I should be able to do that. see if we can figure that out. I'm working tonight, so I'll be working later tonight, and I work the night shift. So yeah. So anyway, so yeah. Thank you a lot, Mike. Number 6 on my list. I get through this. It's a bit different band than I've been talking about, but absolutely was a huge fan back when I was a kid, so I had to put them on my list, and that is the Smashing Pumpkins. A little bit harder rock band than I usually listen to, but I think I used to listen to more hard rock music uh, when I was younger, and I definitely was a huge fan of Smashing Pumpkins. Um, was it Billy Corgan, the lead singer, had a really unique, I thought, rock's voice. Really could kind of scream out the songs, and yeah, just really great. It's one of those bands, man. They just play loud, and uh, you put your headphones on, and you just, man, you just kind of get lost in the music, kind of thing. Um, see what people are saying. Yeah, that will help. Thank you, Rob. I know I've been on Rich's live stream, and that was great. And Mike's, I know he has a bunch of people that watch his. Rob's working. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, Smash Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, I believe it's called. A great early 90s rock album with songs like Today and Disarm uh, and Cherubim Rock. It was a really great rock song of the 90s. The album that really got me, though, was Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I might be saying that right now. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Something. It's a very long title. Very interesting album. It was a double album, and I got that when I was in junior high. And just full disclosure, my parents wouldn't let me listen to Smashing Pumpkins. That was like against my parents. They were too hard, and they did curse some too. So they were kind of a big no-no in my family, and my parents wouldn't let me. So somehow I got some money and went out and bought the Melancholy Infinite Sadness album. And I must have hid it from my parents all through junior high and high school because I don't think they ever knew I bought that album. And I'm sure I hid it somewhere in my room and hope they never found out that I had that album. But kind of funny thing. But man, this was back, I had cassette tapes and I had a Walkman. And man, I used to have that on the Walkman. I listened to that album so many times in junior high. I mean, more than any other album, I would say. Maybe Oasis, What's Story, Morning Glory, I listened to a lot. But I absolutely loved Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. Songs like Tonight, Tonight, 33 was my favorite on there. Absolutely that song. 1979, huge hit song on the radio that I really enjoy. And they had some more harder stuff, which I liked at the time. I don't like so much now, like Bullet with Butterfly Wings and Zero. Pretty hard stuff. I'm not into the hard stuff anymore like that. And I like some of the more popper, not hard, but more pop sound, I guess, if you can call it pop sound. It's all kind of rock and roll music. But anyway, so I know a lot of people, I don't know if anybody has Smashing Pumpkins on their list, but man, I was a huge fan at the time, so I had to kind of put them on there. Let's see what Rob's saying. My son was really into Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, you're not familiar. Yeah. Well, you're probably close to my parents' age, maybe. So that makes sense. My parents hated the Smashing Pumpkins. See, I'm going to have to sign off. Okay. Yeah, it's getting a little later for you. It's, yeah, getting 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night for people in England. So, okay, I will, after I do this, I will get on Facebook and message you, Mike. Thank you. Rob's 65, so my mom's 65, or it's going to be 65 here pretty soon, actually. So, yeah, you're around my parents' age, Rob. So, you understand. You're probably like my parents, like, turn down that hard rock music, you know. It's funny, when I was a kid, that was like, even though I listened to 60s and 70s music, I listened to 90s rock music also, because that's the time period I grew up in. And I'm sure my parents didn't agree with the music I was listening to. And they're like, it's just loud music. And I'm pretty sure my grandparents said the same thing to my parents when they were listening to the Beatles back in the 60s. I'm sure they said at least to my dad, I know, they probably said, that's just loud music, you know, that's no good. And now I'm 39, and when I listen to music now, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, that's not as good music like we used to have it, you know. So every generation, I think it kind of goes that way. From my grandparents to my parents to me, and now I'm going to become that guy. It's like, that's just loud noise. It's not real music. Um, yes, we got RWR. I'm forgetting your name now. I know your name, but I love his movie reviews. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of your movie reviews and commenting on them. So thank you there. So that was number 6. So I'm about halfway through my list here. Um, Number 5, another rock band of the '90s that I really kind of more enjoy now than I did back then. That is Green Day. I don't know if I've seen people put Green Day on their list, but I've heard people kind of mention them as a possibility. But and this is another band that I wasn't like huge fan of growing up, or it wasn't a band I would normally you would think I would put in my top 10 favorite American bands. It's more when they came out with American Idiot. That's when I felt like, oh, their sound is kind of changing slightly. It's coming a little more mainstream to me because the early stuff was more punk rock, which I was never into punk rock music. Um, and so like their big album was I think called Dookie, I believe, from the early '90s. And I can't say I like that album, but I knew the songs because I used to listen to uh, the rock music at the time, and so their songs were always on the radio. So I was very familiar with all their hits. I knew them pretty well from that, though I can't say I was a huge fan. What made me a fan mostly was when they came out with "Good Riddance," the acoustic song, because it was like, wow, here's a hard rock band, and they're playing a acoustic kind of ballad that was very, nostalgic and reminiscent, and they used that song in a lot of I've seen in TV shows and stuff like that, and it was like, wow, they can do other stuff besides punk rock. Anyways, that's when I kind of really started. I really loved that song when that came out in the '90s. But it really was around American Idiot that I know they added like another guitar player, and I felt like their music was coming a little more. Uh, Adam, have a good night. Maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. And like I said, Adam and I hopefully will do a live stream together on the 22nd. So thank you, Adam. Have a good night. Because it's late there in England. It's only getting to be about 4 o'clock here in Kansas, in America. I got some friends from England, some from Canada. Really cool. Um, but yeah, but Green Day, yeah, I feel like their sound became more of a pop rock sound. Still heavy on the guitar, great guitar riffs. And but like with American Idiot, of course, they got the American Idiot song. I love When September Ends. Really great song. Um, More of a lighter song for them, but great lyrically and vocally and musically and all that. Let's see, did I do this one? All right, Adam. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it public. Everybody can watch this afterwards, but this kind of was. I just want to do live stream the first time I've tried one, so I just want to see how it goes and if it works well. I'll like to do some more. And I needed subject matter, so I came up with this top 10 American bands subject matter. Anyways, to do just so I can do something, so I have something to talk about. And appreciate all of you commenting. I love seeing the comments. But yeah, it's Green Day. I don't know. I just love their sound about that time. Also, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, I believe, was a really good song. Let's see, Rob's in New York, so it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's an hour later over there on the East Coast. But yeah, and then I love 20th Century Breakdown. It's really a great album. It's like a double album. But you have like with 21 Guns. I thought great song off the radio. And again, another album where I felt like I don't know, lyrically they were getting a little more mature, I would say, and it was better lyrics. They were doing some love songs for the first time. It felt like, which they really didn't do. Um, and their songs are just very catchy, and I just really loved their sound at that time. Anyway, so yeah, see you soon, Adam. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, so I had to put Green Day on here because how much I love 21st Century Breakdown and love how their sound has changed a lot. So I put Green Day on there at number 5. Number 4 on my list, one I'm sure hopefully Rob will agree with me here. Another 60s band that I absolutely love is the Byrds. Um, I love about the Byrds, again, the harmonies are just so amazing. That great, catchy 60s pop, it's folk rock now, I should say folk rock. From what I understand, the Byrds basically invented folk rock. And I've done some reading on the Byrds. Gene Clark, one of the lead singers and songwriters. He was born in Missouri, but he went to high school in Bonner Springs, Kansas, which Bonner Springs, Kansas is only 30 miles from where I'm living right now. So he kind of grew up close to where I'm living right now. After high school, he then moved to California and he lived out there, of course, and for music to be a musician. And so, yeah, his ties to Kansas aren't huge, but he does have ties to Kansas, which I like. And I read a biography on him, I think called Mr. Tambourine Man or something like that. Biography on Gene Clark, which was interesting. Um, and of course, you have David Crosby, who went on to do Crosby, Stills, and Nash, which is a band I absolutely love. So I've read a lot on Crosby, Stills, and Nash, so I've kind of learned a little bit about him. Uh, and the whole group kind of coming together because they're basically Gene Clark, Roger McGuinn were basically like folk singers that went to California to get into there's evidently was like this big folk uh, scene in California. Of course, Bob Dylan was absolutely huge. Everybody wanted to be like Bob Dylan, I think. And there's probably some other ones there. That's the main one I'm thinking of. But they were doing a lot of folk music. And Roger McGuinn and Gene Clark kind of came together and decided to make a duo and say, hey, we might be better as a duo. So they started doing kind of like Everly Brothers, kind of duo team. And then Dave Crosby was in California because his dad was like an Oscar-winning cinematographer in Hollywood. So Crosby was around the scene, and Crosby saw them too and said, hey, I want to join. And he had some connections, so they let him join. See, Rob, autographed copy of Alan Clark's 290 Resurgence. So I guess that's Gene Clark, related to Gene Clark there, maybe a son or something. But yeah, so they got together, and then the Beatles came out. From what I've read, when the Beatles came out, that changed everything in America as well, and as musics go. And they heard the Beatles, and they're like, "This is amazing stuff." And so that's when they kind of, and of course, the Beatles were like John had the Rickenbacker guitar, and so I know Roger McGuinn went out and bought a Rickenbacker to kind of get that Beatles sound, and so the Byrds are really known for that Rickenbacker sound, that guitar that really helped, I think, the folk rock music or their music. And so when they heard the Beatles, they said we need to kind of put in some of this British invasion rock music into our folk music. And so they kind of combined the two, and they basically invented folk rock, which is like one of my favorite genres of music, I guess I'd say. And so that's why I love the Byrds for that, for coming up with that. But two albums I absolutely love. Mr. Tambourine Man is like top 20 favorite album of all time. Absolutely amazing album. You got to listen to Mr. Tambourine Man. It's like a perfect album. Like every song is great. And then Turn, 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 their second album, I think is also very good. Not nearly as good as Mr. Tambourine Man. Still got some great stuff. Like I said, Miss Tambourine Man and Turn, 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 probably my two favorite songs from them. But of course, they did a lot of cover songs from Bob Dylan, like Mr. Tambourine Man. They're kind of known for that. And did some other cover songs. They wrote their own. Gene Clark was a pretty good songwriter, so he wrote a lot of the songs there. Which I'm remembering on top of my mind, but of course, yeah, I just love their overall sound, harmonies, and the 60s sound that they had. It was great. I feel like they weren't. I wish they would have stayed. They would have been like way higher. They're number 4 on my list, but they would have been number 1 probably. They would have stayed together longer. Kind of that core group, because they did the 2 albums, and Gene Clark kind of left after the first 2 albums, basically. And then I feel like after the 3rd and 4th album, Dave Crosby left, of course, and went and did Crosby, Stills, Nash. So Roger McGuinn was like the main guy that stayed with the Byrds, I think, throughout their career. So Kind of became that, but I feel like the Byrds weren't as good after Gene Clark left. I feel like he was such a huge part, both the songwriting and the singing. It took a little bit of a hit, but still love the Bird sound, especially Mr. Tambourine Man. I had to put it up here because of that album alone. Let's see, Rob says, "Oh, you're right, Jason. I mixed up Gene with Alan, who's in the Hollies." Okay, yeah, Alan Clark was one of the lead singers of the Hollies. So he got his. So that's amazing. I love the Hollies. They're a great band. Of course, Graham Nash, who was part of the Still Nash and Young group, came from the Hollies, and yeah, I love Graham Nash, anyways, and yeah, and he was with Alan Clark with the Hollies. But yeah, so number 4, the Byrds. All right, so I'm getting to my top 3. Top 3. This definitely, these top 3 bands are just some of the best bands I think of all time. They're the bands that have the most hits that I love to listen to. So it definitely was. These 3 are kind of a step above everybody, I think. Number 3 for me is Chicago. And I've heard a lot of people, I think, mention Chicago. I think it's probably on a lot of people's lists, and it's for me again. Harmonies are great. The early Chicago was great because of the great musicians. Like they're one of those bands that combine amazing musicianship. I mean, the guitar, Keith, I think his name was, great guitar player. But everything from the bass player to the drummer to the horns. I love the horns. I can't say I've known another band that combined horns as well as Chicago has, and I love that combining with all that. And of course, like I said, love the early stuff like Chicago Transit Authority is I think their best album, their first album, I believe. And you have songs like Beginnings and Does Anybody Know What Time It Is? Really great songs. 25 to 6 or 4, 25 to 6 or 4, whatever. Great rock song. Love that opening riff. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, when I was in high school, when I was in the pep band, 25 or 6 or 4 was one of our songs that we'd always play during basketball games. Because it's such a fun, and I played the tenor saxophone, and I love playing that bum, 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 bum. Anyways, absolutely love that. Yeah, just a really fun song to play in pep band, anyways. But yeah, so I love that early stuff. I even love their later stuff with, it was more easygoing music, I guess, more popish, because the harmonies were so good. Still, I know they must have had different guys coming in and out of the group, and that's why they changed their sound later on. But still love, You're My Inspiration. Was it hard to say I'm sorry or whatever? Some of those songs are just absolutely amazing. Also, yeah, so definitely one of my top ones. Number 3 here. Let's see, Rob, great pick for number 3. Okay, good. So Rob agrees with me there. Yeah, so love Chicago. So number 2, this is one that I think is on everybody's list, maybe, and that is, I actually got an album here, The Beach Boys. I got the very best of the Beach Boys, The Sounds of Summer, which I've talked about on my channel. I don't know how you can not talk about the Beach Boys when we talk about American bands, because it felt like with the Beatles, it felt like the Beach Boys was the only band that can somewhat compete against the Beatles. I mean, and even then, the Beatles are definitely way up there for me, way at the top. But the Beach Boys, they were coming out hit after hit. Like I said, this Sounds of Summer album vinyl that I got, I mean, there's a good 17 to 20 songs that are just massive hit songs that are on the radio all the time. I mean, not very many bands have that many, I think, hit songs. I mean, coming out. You got the early stuff with Surf, 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 and I wish they called it be California Girls. I Get Around, Fun, 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 Surfer Girl. Some of the really great catchy music. Obviously, their best album, I think, and everybody would say, is Pet Sounds. Definitely my favorite album of theirs, and one of my favorite albums of all time. Which, a lot of the early stuff, I've said before, and Rob's heard me say this about Beach Boys, the early stuff was mostly like, let's go surfing, let's go drive a car. It was those kind of songs. And then Pet Sounds, it felt like it was different. It wasn't about surfing or driving cars. And I really absolutely loved that. And lyrically, it was like more mature lyrics, I think. Absolutely one of the best songs ever written. God Only Knows. Absolutely love that song. And I know I've heard a lot of people. Sam St. John, I think, says it's his favorite song of all time. I think Pet Sounds is Sam St. John's favorite album of all time. So, and I agree. It's amazing song. Absolutely love the harmonies and the piano on that, and just the vocally just amazing. But I mean, uh, you also got Sloop John B, which is a nice, catchy hit song, and then also Wouldn't It Be Nice? Absolutely amazing song. Also, I love Don't Worry Baby, another great song with harmonies throughout. And it's another one of the songs, like I said, that you just, so soothing. You want to fall asleep somewhat when I listen to it. But yeah, love their overall harmonies and vocals and just really fun music. So yeah, I'd put Beach Boys at number two. Rob says, I wonder if Beach Boys would be one or two. Yep, they're number two on my list. So that leaves number one on my list. Fair. And this is a band. I've heard some say they hate this band, but I think a lot of people like this band. They're pretty huge. This is one of Rich Strickler's favorite bands. And then number one, I got the Eagles, and I got a compilation CD of early hits and some of their later stuff. But absolutely love the Eagles. Again, it's another band that has like come up with 20 or so just absolutely amazing hit songs that are on the radio that I've listened to growing up, and again, absolutely amazing harmonies. Um, Band that can, again, I love the easygoing music of them. They can do a little bit of rock too, and I think musician wise, I mean Joe Wash on guitar is really great, and John Fielder, the two really good guitar players. They've had a couple different guitar players come through, but they all get great voices, and yeah, the guitar playing and drumming and all that. Really good musicians, and so many hit songs. Like I said, I think Hotel California definitely maybe my favorite song of theirs, just because I love that double guitar solo at the end. I especially love it watching it on YouTube when they're doing it, because it's just so amazing to watch the two guitar players. Like, how do they do that? Both at the same time. Absolutely amazing. But I love, like I said, a lot of their more easygoing music, like Best of My Love, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Take It Easy. Absolutely love. A lot of their early stuff I really enjoy. Lion Eyes, Tequila Sunrise, Take It to the Limit. Yeah, just all amazing songs. I say my favorite is theirs is Desperado. I really love that album. That I've talked already on my channel, my top 100 favorite albums. Of course, Desperado, great song. Tequila Sunrise, absolutely love off of that. Dueling Daltons, and some of those songs are great. Hotel California, another album I really like. Obviously, it has Hotel California on there. Really great song. Trying to think, what was the other song I really like? New Kid in Town's on that album. That's a really good song off of there. But yeah, two really good albums, and yeah, I hope I don't know if I'll get any hate for saying that Eagles, but I think people like the Eagles. They were pretty big at the time. I know Rich Strickler is a big fan of the Eagles. Yeah, so I love their overall sound, and just got so many big hits that I had to put them number one. It's my favorite American band. So that's my 10 favorite American bands. I'll go through all 10 just real quickly if you missed it. Number 10, Huey Lewis and the News. Number 9, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Number 8, The Association. Number 7, Lovin' Spoonful. Number 6, The Smashing Pumpkins. Number 5, Green Day. Number 4, The Byrds. Number 3, Chicago. Number 2, The Beach Boys. And number 1, Eagles. That's my list. And just some honorable mentions that I was thinking about that other people I know probably have on their list, and they're probably like, how did you not have this on your list? Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, I thought about them. I know that was Sam St. John's favorite American band. He's a huge Tom Petty fan. And Tom Petty, I'm not as familiar with their music. I listened to Damn the Torpedoes recently, and I thought that was a really good album. So I definitely liking what I'm hearing so far. And I know some of their hits and stuff, but I don't know. I just don't know them well enough, I guess, to put them in my top 10. So I need to listen to more Tom Petty. CCR, it was definitely one that I really thought about putting in there. Obviously, Cosmos Factory is a really good album. Definitely my favorite CCR album. It has so many great hits on there. Um, I don't know. They're just kind of a hit and miss band for me. Like I said, I love that album, but I've listened to some CCR music and it didn't quite, hit me in the same way. So it didn't quite make it there, but definitely was one that I thought about. Let's see what Rob says here. I like the Eagles, but Beach Boys. No, yeah, the Beach Boys are so good. It was definitely between those two. And the CCR, I mentioned the Doors. Yeah, a lot of people love the Doors. I'm not a huge Doors fan, though. Obviously, they got some good music. Light My Fire, of course, is a huge hit, and Love Me Two Times, I believe, really good song. Yeah, Doors I didn't really consider, though. I understand they're pretty big. They were a pretty big band. Um, the other band I considered, and I feel like I don't know, I just couldn't quite fit them in, was REM, which is a band I enjoy a lot. I can't say I absolutely love them, and it's another band I need to listen to more, I think. And again, I feel like if I listen to more of the music, maybe they'd make my top 10. And if I did this again, who knows? But I know Brian Macy, REM was his favorite American band, so I'm sorry to Brian and Sam. I didn't quite get your bands in there, though definitely did consider them. And I know Who Loosened the News is kind of a weak made choice at number 10, but I don't know. I just really enjoy their music. And again, this could change, in a year or something like that. When I listen to more of the other music, it could always change. But I think definitely Eagles, Beach Boys, Chicago. I think that'd always be my top three. It's hard to get past those three, I think, and all the hits they have. So anyway, so thank you to everybody for watching this live stream and commenting. I really appreciate it. And this was, first live stream for me, so I think it went okay. Hopefully do more live streams with other people. Would be a lot of fun. Something I'll definitely, now that I've done this once, hopefully be easier to do next time. Like I said, and get Adam on here and all that. So thank you a lot to Rob for commenting. Man, I really appreciate you being on here. Thank you to Mike for chiming in, and the Happy Hippie Vinyl Guy. Really appreciate you all here. Thank you, Rob. Okay, good. Yeah, it's good. I got some bands other people don't have, so that maybe is good to have something different. Hopefully, that's good having different bands on than the usual. But anyway, so yeah, so thank you a lot, and yeah, so till next time, I hope you all have a good day.